Hey, nice to see you again.
Hey.
Hey, how was your trip?
It was good, thank you. Yeah.
Would you like coffee?
Oh yeah, please, that would be cool.
All right. Oh, look, we have coffee.
Yay.
So, hi everyone, welcome back to another video on the RICOH Photography channel. I'm here joined by Pia Parolin, who is a photographer and biologist, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And she joins us here at this coffee house, Café Bruder, which is located in the iconic warehouse district of Hamburg. So we have the best coffee you can get in Hamburg. Cheers. And we're here today to discuss Pia's experience using the RICOH GR3 Diary Edition. And you just brought this camera to Western Australia, right? So tell us a little bit about your experience, and maybe before you do that, let us know what you do usually and how did you came into contact with the GR?
Well, I came into contact with the GR some years ago. I bought myself the black one and I used it a lot, but I stumbled and fell and I destroyed it, so that was a nightmare. Yeah. And I have been thinking since, should I buy a new one, should I not, because I have other cameras, but I really missed the little one. So yeah, when I had this trip programmed to go to Australia, I thought, that's the moment.
What do you usually do? What kind of photography are you doing?
Well, I love street photography, so I usually walk around the streets and try to look like a tourist, so that people don't care for what I do, and I get really close to people and take the photo. And I usually have cameras which are not too obvious, and yeah, I really like this camera for this purpose exactly.
Cool. Yeah, it's also the first time for me to see it in person. And I have
so
to.
Beautiful.
Can I hold it?
I'm not sure.
No, I have to say it does look much prettier in real life, in person, than on the images. It's hard with these special editions to really get a sense of the color, because the light, the angle of the light changes how it looks, right? I didn't expect to like the color that much, because yeah.
I must say I fell in love with the color. I really like the color. Yeah. It might be stupid to speak about color for a camera, but it's like a gadget. I put it on the table when I meet my friends, and
yeah, it's nice. It's nice to have options, I think. What was the reason for your trip, and why did you decide to bring this particular edition with you?
Well, the reason was that I went to see my daughter. She lives in Australia, and I wanted to see her, but I also wanted to do a lot of street photography because I know that the light is really beautiful in Perth. That's where she lives. So Western Australia has this almost desert-like climate, and so I decided to use the time that I spent there, several weeks, to also meet some street photographers down there, and especially women street photographers, because I know some people there, like Julia Coddington. She's from Eastern Australia, but she came over to meet me and others. Yeah. And
she is the founder of Women in Street.
Yes, together with Casey Mashbesher, she founded Women in Street, and together with Rebecca Wiltshire, who was also there. She's from Perth. They founded a collective focused on women. So I was really keen on meeting them in person. And
so it was the first time that you guys met?
Yeah. We were in contact through some social media, but we never met in person. Yeah.
So it was a family trip with a little bit of a photo trip in it as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Yeah, I already saw some images on your Instagram from the Brazilian Carnival, I think. That looked like a fun event. How was it like to photograph that?
That was fun. It was like, I mean...
Did you dance with the crowd?
Yeah, exactly, because they have a big community of Brazilians there, and it was Carnival time, and so we decided to go there with all these street photographers from Australia to spend the day. And so we went there, everybody with their cameras, and I just mixed with the people. I mean, I lived in Brazil for many years, so I really felt like connected to them. And I started to speak, and I always had my camera in my hand, and I danced with them, and I talked to them, and I took photos, and nobody really cared for my camera in my hand. And that's really what I prefer, that people don't look at my camera, but they just interact with me, and this way I can get close, and I become part of the whole scene in a way. I mean, I try not to influence the scene, but I still want to be very close, and so that's for me the perfect match.
Yeah. Can I ask you some technical question? Like, how do you use GR in this situation? Do you Are you a fan of snap focus or don't use that?
Well, I usually, yes, I use snap focus. I usually use priority of speed because I care for not so much.
Priority?
Yeah, shutter priority because
me too. I prefer that over aperture.
Yeah, because I mean, okay, I have to say in Perth you have such a strong sunlight that basically it's not really important which settings you put. Yeah. Everything fits in depth because even with a fast shutter speed, the depth is still okay.
Yeah.
But I prefer to have the speed just because people move and so I want them sharp. Yeah. And that's how I usually work.
Cool. Yeah, we have the same workflow because usually people like to use aperture control.
Yeah, I know. I always shut up and I don't say a word, but in fact I really like that.
So what else did you experience in Australia? I know that you've been to other places as well. Tell us a little bit more about the rest of the journey.
Well, one day we spent in Rottnest Island, which is a small island just half an hour from Perth. So you take a ferry and it takes you to paradise. It's so wonderful, all these colors. They have these, it's a small island, no cars, and you walk and there are these tidal pools, natural rock pools, and you have these fantastic colors, and yeah, I love that very much. And then we took the car together with my daughter and some friends of her, and we went a bit north and south of Perth and traveled, road trip in Australia, and that was great because you have these incredible landscapes with sand dunes and always the fantastic sea and all these nice people. So yeah, it was really a great place to be.
I'm envious. We don't get so much sun here.
I know. Yeah, the sun is so bright all the time, and you have a lot of wind. I mean, it was the hottest time of the year. Right now, it's their summer, right? Our winter. Yeah. So it was pretty warm, but it was cool. And we traveled a lot of kilometers up and down, and we stopped here and there to have a look. And my daughter likes to take some photos with her friends, and I always grabbed the camera and went to take some photos of the landscape and of some plants which I like. And
so your daughter's also taking pictures. Did you teach her how to shoot?
Not really, because the kids, they grow up with their cell phones, and so she's doing a lot of this and she does it fine, but she was never too much interested in learning from me, but probably I have influenced her a bit. But
I have a GR waiting for my son. It's reserved to him.
Oh, that's cool.
When he's old enough.
Yeah. Well, usually what happened with my family, they got a bit annoyed when I took out my camera and started to take photos. When they're teenagers, they say, can you stop this, Mom?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, because my family, or especially my wife, doesn't like to have her pictures taken. Especially when I use, my bigger cameras. I have other cameras as well, of course. But I feel like with the GRs, it's a little bit more, it's easier, right? Is it the same for you?
Yeah, it's less invasive, so to say. I mean, they don't care if I have this little camera. It's like my cell phone lying around, but they are really a bit opposing when I take out my big camera. So yeah, that it makes a difference also for my family. Sure.
Because it looks like you're starting a photo shoot.
Yeah, right.
And this is like,
this is just like, okay, that's like a phone, and I take some photos, and yeah.
Yeah, let's focus a little bit on the diary edition. This is the limited kit. I see that you have all the accessories attached. I know that the limited kit has this hot shoe cover that you can also engrave, I think. This is something that RICOH up till now only offered to the Japanese market, but now you can have that in Europe as well. So if you want to have your name engraved, you can do that with the limited kit, not with the standard edition. And then it also comes with this finger strap and a special case.
Well, the color is obviously the reason why I like this camera particularly, because all other cameras are black and boring. It's really just an aesthetic detail, but I love it very much.
It's very friendly looking, I think.
Yes. And it makes a bit of a difference from the normal cameras, but it doesn't make such a big difference that people really stare at my camera, because I try to be a bit invisible when I'm walking the streets as a street photographer. I always play a role like the stupid tourist, Yeah. So I have my little camera and I take photos, and the people don't look at me at all, and so I can get close to what I want to take pictures of. And So I use it a bit like a chameleon to get invisible.
I mean, it looks, I can hold it here and it blends
disappears.
Yeah.
No, well, that's a bit of my strategy to walk the streets like a tourist who just takes photos of the architecture, while instead I take photos of
I see. Yeah, no, it
people
makes
and
sense.
things. Yeah.
I think we should also talk about the diary aspect of this camera. I mean, the camera's name is Diary Edition, and I know that RICOH wanted to tailor this camera more towards not the street photography crowd, but the casual snapshot photographer. And in Japan, for example, street photography as a term doesn't really exist. It's always snap photography or snapshot photography. So I can see that this camera might reach even a new target group, people that weren't interested in the GR before, maybe because they found it too serious or too focused on street photography, which it only is in the West, but in Japan it's a snapshot camera. Do you agree, or how do you see it?
Yes, I agree, because when I travel, I like to take snapshots of the landscape or of things that I see, or of just impressions, and this diary idea is that I want to keep the memory of something, so I use this to take snaps also, yeah.
I know that you also have a YouTube channel, and I think that's kind of what you do on there, right? You document, you share behind the scenes, and this is also kind of a diary thing.
Yes, well, yeah, in my YouTube channel, I only just started it. So what I'm doing is to document my journeys, my travels, but also to share knowledge about soft skills in photography, methods in street photography, philosophy in photography, a bit of everything, and to make the videos a bit more interesting, I put in a lot of snapshots.
So you told me in the beginning that you also went there to do some street photography, and I never went to Australia before, so I'm curious to know, how is it like to do some street there? It's probably the light that you miss.
Oh, the light is fantastic. The light was just perfect, but also the people are pretty relaxed, so I walk the streets, and I mean, people don't care very much for what I do, and I'm pretty free to do street photography the way I like, and I like to play a lot with contrast and with colors, strong colors, and given the sunshine you have these beautiful contrasts and shadows and light. And
what city did you go to?
To Perth in Western Australia.
That's the main city.
That's the main city, and then we traveled a bit around, but there are basically small towns around. So Perth is really a very isolated place, really far away from every other city.
Do you have any plans, or what are you going to do with all these images from this trip?
Well, usually I use my pictures for my books. I write books about photography, soft skills. Still, it's only in German up till now, but I'm starting to translate them, hopefully one day. And I use them, I give talks and give lectures and workshops, so I use my photos for that. I like to use my photos for these things,
Cool. And we will probably see them on your YouTube channel.
I hope so,
And your Instagram. Which leads us to the ending of this video. So our coffee cups are empty, as they should be. Thank you all for watching, and I want to give a big thank you to Café Bruda for letting us film here. If you're looking to get some great coffee, then check out their online store, or come by and have a taste or a seminar. If you don't want to miss upcoming videos, please subscribe to this channel. I also want to give a special shout out to the GR women community on Instagram, which was created by the community last year. Definitely check them out as well. And thank you again for watching, and we see you in the next video. Have a great day. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.